Chris and Chris Elsay invited us to join them for 4 days on their world cruising catamaran, Stray Kitty, to get a taste of the Tasman Bay in New Zealand in January 2011. Tasman Bay lies at the top of the South Island and is the home of the stunning Abel Tasman National Park. The park has some of the most beautiful 5-day coastal walks, dense bush that comes down to the most stunning beaches, walking huts along the way, and bay and anchorages to die for. Wildlife is abundant, with birds and seals being the main fauna attraction. Taking a hike along the national park trails is a very worthwhile experience, with an abundance of trees, ferns, waterfalls and views. Chris and Chris left Canada in 2008 and arrived in the Bay of Islands, New Zealand in November 2010. They're spending 6 months here touring the coastline before heading back to the tropical Pacific zone after the cyclone season ends here in April. Their 3 kids, Andrea, Ryan and Carrie, are sailing around the world with them and are being homeschooled on the catamaran. And, by the looks of it, they are scholastically way ahead of other kids their age. But on top of that, what an awesome experience these kids are having, which they will never forget.
I'd rather sail around the world than fly.
You can just see the confidence in their eyes. We took along our little one, Alexandra, who is also well versed on sailboats. Well, sort of, she's only 2.5. The sailing presented a slight challenge as the wind was gusting to 35 knots, and so we double reefed the main and the headsail. Wave height was about 1 to 2 meters, and the distance between them was pretty short due to the shallow depth of the Tasman Bay. Here's a short little test for Nautic Ed students. How would you trim this sail? You'd move the car forward, which would subsequently tighten the leech of the sail, allowing the top to fly more efficiently. Although, in this wind, spilling out of the top is a good thing. Stray Kitty uses a roll-type plow anchor for their main anchor, and their setups never let them down. Chris has all the essential electronic gear on board for world cruising. Here you can see his AIS in action, picking up a 135-foot yacht travelling at 12.5 knots and which on its current heading will pass 0.528 nautical miles from us. On board is also an SSB radio fitted with a modem for collecting essential weather info via GRIBs, fleet codes and text weather. He pulls in email via SSB airmail. To power all of Stray Kitty's electronics, Chris uses 500 watt capacity solar panels mounted on the hardtop, although he says he really needs about 1,000 as he needs to top up the batteries with his generator every now and again. Some people go with wind turbines, but Chris, on a world trip, believes that's just another thing to fail. Stray Kitty is a 42-foot PDQ catamaran, and for world cruising, for what Chris and Chris wanted, they wouldn't have it any other way. The boat performs well upwind, but as Chris pointed out, most of your sailing when going around the world with the trade winds is downwind anyway. Here, Chris points out their well-used bowsprit for flying their Jenica. An added advantage for them with the cat was that the cat stays flat, which allows the kids to do their homeschooling in comfort, but there's also plenty of time for play. And rest. Thanks to Stray Kitty for an awesome long weekend and an introduction to your world cruising lifestyle. If you see Stray Kitty in some remote port somewhere, say hi, tell them that you saw them on Nautic Ed.